Now, this is one of my favorite parts of the convention, I got to tell you. Each year, we present the Lifetime Leadership Award to a wholesaler whose contribution to the association, the community, and the beverage industry defines excellence, inspires loyalty, and exemplifies leadership. This year's recipient has set a high bar when it comes to community engagement, leadership, and philanthropy. There are a few among us who have poured their time, money, energy, and passion into charitable giving and activism like Larry Ruvo. Larry Ruvo's life is the classic American success story. Hard work, opportunity, luck, and perseverance. Larry's father, Lou, was a sightseeing driver in Niagara Falls who, like many, found opportunity by moving west, settling in Las Vegas. On a shoestring budget, Lou and his wife, Angie, opened the Venetian restaurant, which became one of Las Vegas's original C and B scene establishments. And that establishment will continue to grow and thrive over a 4-decade run. Larry began his career in hospitality at his family's restaurant, moving from there to stints at the Frontier, the Sahara, here at Caesar's Palace, and then as general manager of the Playboy Club in Los Angeles, hard work there, before moving into wine and spirits distribution. He's been in the wholesale wine and spirits industry now for over 40 years and has directed Southern Wine and Spirits in Nevada as senior managing director since 1969. Larry has long channeled his professional success into community philanthropy and engagement. And among the many community charities and contributions he is well known for establishing is UNL Vino, an event benefiting academically talented yet financially dependent young UNLV students. But he is perhaps best known for channeling the lessons learned from obstacles facing his family into a community and national opportunity. The Frank Gehry-designed Cleveland Clinic Lou Ruvo Center for Brain Health is a world-class care facility, the creation of which was inspired by watching his father face the devastation of Alzheimer's disease. Think about that for a moment. The power of one man, bringing together the world's best, Frank Gehry and the Cleveland Clinic, and in so doing putting Las Vegas on the map as a hub of medical investment, research, and treatment. His vision is driving the pursuit of a cure for neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's, MS, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, and others. And before we bring up Larry, please watch this clip.
I've watched Larry Ruvo create an extraordinary institution for clinical research on Alzheimer's disease.
Larry saw Lou Ruvo battle dementia, and his mom had been the dad's caregiver. So I think the passion, Larry's passion, came from that and wanting to have a facility where caregivers receive the same attention as the patients.
His care and compassion for his fellow citizens is a great testament to his heart.
What they're doing at the Lou Ruvo Clinic, it's just amazing, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
It's way ahead of time. This particular building is built to perfection.
I don't think there's a better facility anywhere in the world. It takes into account not just the patients, but their families, and gives them a wonderful atmosphere for healing.
It's a tribute to the people of Las Vegas that they have developed this world-class facility that is affiliated with one of our nation's finest medical organizations.
The most important thing is the way they've been able to cluster enormous talent here.
That's why we're also celebrating the men and women of the Cleveland Clinic. The work you are doing is critical.
It's a source of hope for countless Americans who are affected by Alzheimer's, Huntington's, Parkinson's, and other memory disorders.
I want to thank very, very much Larry and Camilla, because meeting them, I feel that I found big friends.
How fitting that tonight's event is called the Power of Love Gala, because at this moment I can't begin to express the unbelievable and enormous amount of love that is spilling over my heart, making my soul smile from each and every one of you.
I knew Larry before any of this, before he had a hospital, and then suddenly all this came together, and here we are. And Larry is quite the most extraordinary person, because he's built this incredible
Amen.
hospital.
Larry is the consummate gentleman, a true leader, and we're honored to recognize him with the WSWA Lifetime Leadership Award. Please join me in saluting Larry Ruvo. Very good. Thank you.
Good morning. Las Vegas is a town built on odds. And in 1966, if the odd makers would have set a line, it would have been millions and millions to one that I'd be standing on this stage today. Caesar's Palace opened in 1966, and that's where I began my career as a front desk clerk. By chance, my first encounter with Steve Wynn was when I checked him into the hotel at Caesar's Palace, about 50 yards from here. Several years later, Steve and I started a liquor company, Wynn Distributing, which ultimately became Southern Wine and Spirits of Nevada. To be on this stage, less than 50 yards where I started my career, and to receive this special, incredible recognition from the WSWA in my town, in front of our employees, in front of my family and friends, it's overwhelming. It's astonishing. Throughout my career, Caesar's Palace has played an instrumental role in the development of my career. First, as I mentioned, I met Steve Wynn. Then around 1973, I was invited to go to a Young Presidents Conference, a YPO meeting here, where Meshulam Riklis, then the owner of the Riviera, was giving a speech. During that speech, as he was talking about how important it was to give back to your community and stayed as a businessman. I raised my hand, and I said, well, if you're a young company starting out and not making a lot of money, how do you have the opportunities to support charities? Meshulam said, Larry, figure it out, because if you don't, your competition will. And that became a mantra for Southern Wine and Spirits of being so involved. Years later, I had another opportunity that truly changed my career in the beverage alcohol business. I developed a relationship with Frank Sinatra. Frank had a Budweiser distributorship in Long Beach, and he wanted to add wine to his portfolio. We met through some mutual friends. Because of Caesar's Palace, this next story I must share with you totally changed my career and at the time Wynn Distributing and ultimately Southern Wine. I got a call one day from Billy Weinberger. He was the president of the hotel. And Billy said, I really need to speak to you. I was so scared. It was 1973. We were working. Steve had left to go do the Golden Nugget. I was working on about 2 nickels. I was making sure the lights were out at night, totally undercapitalized, and I was petrified. So I go into Caesar's Palace president's office, and Billy says to me, we got a problem. Now, by that time, I had checked with the warehouse. The deliveries were on time. There were no out-of-stocks. There was no pricing errors. And I said, well, what is it? He said, well, we have a new restaurant here called the Piazza, brand new. And Frank Sinatra, every night he's going to your mom and dad's restaurant. And when he doesn't, he's sending our bellman out to bring food back into the hotel, and it's demoralizing to my team. I said, hold on, Billy. Do you want me to tell my mom and dad they're not going to serve Frank Sinatra? Because that won't happen. He goes, no, will you please speak to Frank? And again, less than 75 yards from where we're sitting, Frank was in rehearsal. I go into the showroom. Frank, don't shoot the messenger. Oh, come on in. I said, don't shoot the messenger. I had to say it 3 times. What is it? I said, you're not eating in the Piazza, their new restaurant. You're going to my mom and dad's restaurant. It's my biggest account, and I need your help. I'm not eating in that restaurant. He picks up the phone. It's Mr. Sinatra. Get me Mr. Weinberger. Billy, I'm here with Larry Ruvo. Hold on. What champagne do you sell? Well, we didn't have Cristal, Dom Perrier, Jouet. We had Mum Champagne, and they had a Tête de Cuvée René Laloux. René Laloux. He says, Billy, every 2 people come in the showroom tonight, get a bottle of, what's the name of that? Rene Lalou. They get that champagne. I don't know how much it costs. Well, Billy, you have to raise the minimum, because at that time in Las Vegas, every 2 people got 1 bottle of champagne. So we had to raise the minimum. Now that story permeated through the Las Vegas Strip, because true to his word, every night Frank Sinatra came out on stage with a bottle of Rene Lalou at post time, and he toasted his friend Larry Ruvo. And he told me, he says, no one's going to tell me where to eat. Well, Billy Weinberger found out the hard way. But what I found out was that incident, I always would know where Frank was going that night, and I'd call ahead. They thought that I was bringing Frank Sinatra. He was going there anyway, but I let the hotels know that I was bringing my friend Frank Sinatra. And I can't tell you what that did for our business, what it did for Southern Wine and Spirits. And one of the things that's evolved out of another meeting at Caesars with Ms. Sholem-Rickless is Southern Wine and Spirits is so involved in our community. We support major charities. Of course, my personal passion is these neurodegenerative diseases of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, Huntington's, ALS, and MS. And I just would like to ask a little involvement. Will you please raise your hand if you do not know anybody? If you don't know anybody in your life that's had Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's, ALS. I got all the lights, but I don't see any hands. Is there any hands? There's not one hand up. So what I was able to do with a whole lot of you in this room was take from my liquor business and my wine and spirit business, and what that was packaging and marketing. So what I did is I believed that if I live in Las Vegas, how am I going to make a dent in the world of brain health unless I took what was applicable from the beverage alcohol and put it to a business, and a medicine specifically. And I knew what a celebrity chef could do. I knew what a packaging and marketing could do for a brand. So I said, I got to have a celebrity architect. And we hired Frank Gehry. And then we partnered with the Cleveland Clinic. And what I also learned is what good is the package if what's inside isn't good? So now we hire the best and brightest doctors in the world, and we bring them to Las Vegas. And what's happened in the short 6 years that we're open is that, number one, we have the largest brain health center in America right now. We have 5 Lou Ruvo centers for brain health. We saw 50,000 patients thus far, 25,000 last year. We've got the largest clinical trial program. And the Cleveland Clinic has adopted our place of dignity. It's a place of dignity, no patient waiting rooms. But I want to please have to say how important it was for me. This whole journey is about my wine suppliers, our beverage alcohol, but it started with one man. That's Harvey Chaplin. I called Harvey and I said he knew my dad, and after my dad passed away, I had to take my mom in for surgery because we were ignorant of caregiving. And she became partially crippled, still alive at 92, she's with me. But what that incident did is it changed me, and I said, Harvey, I think we can make a difference. And as Harvey would do, he says, I'm all in. And with Harvey and the Chaplins, we have built an incredible facility for brain health. There's nothing like it in the world. We've had people from all over the world, royalty and so forth. But for me, I believe I've had this storybook career. And I've often said that I'm an only child, but I've been fortunate to have 2 very important men in my life who I feel more like brothers. And it's Steve Wynn and Harvey Chaplin. We don't meet people by accident. They come into our lives for a reason, and I am really fortunate to have Steve and Harvey in my life. Harvey's never not supported something. I've had some crazy idea through the years, but I also have to acknowledge that a few decades later, Wayne entered the picture. And Wayne, I have to tell you how personally proud I am of your accomplishments. I feel like part of your family, so I've enjoyed witnessing your accomplishments and your great, great business strides. Like your father, you've encouraged me with some of my ideas. You've put up with them and allowed us to develop them, which fortunately has benefited us all. But I must personally thank you and Harvey for an enormous support, and of course, for the Cleveland Clinic Lou Ruvo Center for Brain Health. There were 12 wholesalers when Steve and I opened the company. When we sold to Harvey in 1976, we were number 8. Well, we're number 1 and have been number 1 for a long time. And I'm proud of that, and I'm proud that we'll also continue to do great things moving forward as Glazer's partner. So although there's many people for me to thank today and how I've got here, I must first thank my wife. The most important person I've ever met at Caesar's Palace is my wife, Camille, and my daughters, Nicole and Lauren and Brianna. I know it's been somewhat of a challenge throughout this crazy ride with this unbelievable schedule, and you've had to make some sacrifices, and I just publicly in front of my colleagues and friends and family want to say thank you. I'm extremely fortunate to work with an incredible team of men and women, and I'm tremendously proud to accept this prestigious award, not only on behalf of my family, but my remarkable and dedicated team at Southern Wine and Spirits. They've become incredible friends, great colleagues, and we're number 1 because of them. So to the WSWA, to Caesar's Palace, and all of you, enormous thanks. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Larry. Hang on, hang on. So, before you go, we have a quick surprise. Here to give a special proclamation, the Mayor of Las Vegas, Carolyn Goodman. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's all yours.
For him, you can sit. For me, you don't need to sit or stand. All roads lead to Caesar's Palace, I have to tell you. He may have been at the front desk. I came to work here in August of '66, working for the president and the head of the casino. Never saw him. But in the days of the Venetian, when he was a busboy, I saw you. So it's been a great ride and such an exciting time. There is no better place to live. There is no better person, no better company. You've been so involved in our community. Everybody loves and admires you and all your team. And so today, from the Office of the Mayor, a proclamation. Whereas, since being formed in 1972, Southern Wine and Spirits in Nevada has been known for its historic commitment to delivering the highest standard of customer service, best in industry, professional and well-trained sales, operational and beverage education for its staff, its customers, and to many national educational institutions. And whereas, guided by the leadership of Senior Managing Director Larry Ruvo, Southern Wine and Spirits of Nevada is justly respected for its deeply held belief in the importance of giving back, for being a socially responsible corporate citizen, and for making generous contributions to national, state, and local charitable organizations. And whereas, a testament to the company's commitment to education and community, Southern Wine and Spirits of Nevada Academy of Spirits and Fine Service and its School of Fine Wine and Beverage Service both work in conjunction with the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, William Harrah College of Hotel Administration to support Nevada and future leaders of the hospitality industry. And whereas now, in its 42nd year, Southern Wine and Spirits of Nevada and the William Harrah College of Hotel Administration at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, has successfully held the annual UNL Vino event, one of the largest wine tastings in the entire nation, drawing in hundreds of attendees and generating significant annual fundraising dollars to support our UNLV students. Now, therefore, I, the mayor of the great city of Las Vegas, county of Clark, state of Nevada, hereby proudly proclaim April 21st, 2016 as Larry Ruvo and Southern Wine and Spirits Day of Nevada Day in the city of Las Vegas, asking all citizens to join me in recognizing Southern Wine and Spirits of Nevada and Larry Ruvo for all that they do to make Las Vegas great. And I have signed it and affixed the seal, and I give it to you, Larry, with great admiration and love.
Wonderful.